Defense crossed. No, I'm not alone.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Hey everyone, Thordan Smash here, and today we're going to be talking about some of the buffs and the nerfs coming for the Season 10 Legends and what the game developers have to say about it. So we're going to dive right into it, and let's start off with Caustic. Recently, game designer Daniel Zeklein went ahead and said, we're thinking about what to do with Caustic. We could just up the damage again, maybe find an in-between point where he's okay, but I want us to spend some time thinking of non-damage outputs we could use on the gas. The goal is that people should be terrified of your gas and not try to leave ASAP. That's currently not the case, and we will fix it. Now, in the new Genesis Collection event patch that just dropped, Structall found some information in the game files in regards to Caustic, as you can see right here, and they actually made his gas scale from 4 to 8 per tick instead of staying at the always 5 flat that it has been. Now obviously we didn't see that patch go through for Caustic when Genesis Collection event dropped, so we will most likely see them tinker with it a little bit more until we get it in Season 10, and it does look like they're going to go ahead and increase the gas damage, bringing it back to what it was before they nerfed him so hard in around February of this year. Now the next one up is going to be Rampart, and we've talked about it a couple of different times on this channel, but Daniel Zeklein said we can expect it halfway through Season 10, and it is going to be a spicy buff, which does give us a hint. You see, Daniel Zeklein likes to make puns when he's going ahead and talking about the buffs and nerfs he will be bringing for certain characters. When talking about Revenant's buff that they went ahead and did for this collection event, he actually says right here at the very bottom, it will go ahead and help him climb to the top. Now, it could mean nothing, but when you go ahead and you use puns when talking about previous characters' buffs and nerfs, it makes me think that Rampart's spicy buff could have something to do with heat, something with fire, maybe thermite, or it could have the opposite, pun intended, something like where the L-Star has a cooldown that is much quicker for Rampart, which would make sense because it is an LMG and she is proficient with those. Now moving on to the next legend, and I wish this was a bad joke or pun from Daniel Klein, but unfortunately it looks to be real. In regards to Wattson, he said, they have work scheduled on her, however it won't be a buff. It will likely include a nerf so we can ship it without warping the game. It gets a little weird when he tries to justify it. He says, I'm not saying she's a little strong, I'm saying if we look at the entire skill spectrum, she is the strongest character in the game. That's Lifeline, Pathfinder, Wraith below her there. And the chart he uses is her win rate, the amount of times people pick her, along with how many times those people pick her actually win. But it gets even more confusing because later on when referring to Wattson's play rate, he says it's about the same as Fuse. You can find them in the very bottom of this chart, meaning no one picks Wattson, so the players that are winning with her are a very small sample size. A good idea of how this would actually look in a simpler form, the total player base here for Wraith and Octane are in the hundreds of thousands, whereas only 10 people are playing Wattson. Yet if those people playing Wattson only get 4 wins, that's a 40% win rate compared to the lower numbers for Wraith and Octane. This is a horrible metric to use. I also don't understand why he would say that she's one of the strongest characters in the game and doesn't need to be improved upon at all, because that just isn't true at all. If you look at her abilities, a passive that slowly heals your shields, very slowly might I add, a tactical that allows you to put up fences that slow enemies and hurt them just a little bit, and an ultimate that blocks incoming projectiles and slowly once again heals your shields. That doesn't compare to one of the actual strongest legends in the game, Gibraltar. For a comparison's sake, Gibraltar just starts off with extra health right off the bat, as he is a fortified character. He also has a passive which allows him to put up a gun shield and block 50 incoming damage, and he can put that out multiple times. He gets a tactical that stops all incoming projectiles from hitting him or his teammates, and he can also pick up quicker well in that bubble, and he is one of the best offensive ultimates in the entire game. Yet somehow you're saying Wattson, who can put up fences, is stronger. I'm sorry, there's just no way you can convince me of that. The last legend to go over is actually going to be one they nerfed very heavily in Season 9, and that is Horizon. They took away a lot of her abilities going into this season, but it looks like they want to return her to somewhat of her former glory. Draynilla tweeted that he misses his bouncy space lady and wants to see some Horizon changes, and Josh Medina, another developer over at Respawn, said she's got stuff in the oven. Whether she will return to her former glory when she was absolutely beastly in Season 7, I highly doubt, although they are going to make her more viable and back up to a little bit more powerful. But those are going to be the 4 legends that we know that they are working on going into Season 10. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of the buffs and nerfs, and what do you think needs to happen for the game of Apex Legends to be better balanced. And until next time, Legends, keep slaying the Outlands, and I'll see you out there.